Thank you, Bruce McAvaney. And Australia and England are meeting for the 28th time. It all goes back to the early part of the 20th century. England won the opening clash back in the early 1900s, and they've also won the last 3. But the surface is very hard and fast. The roof is closed, and Martin Johnson looking for 13 straight victories for this England team as their skipper. He has a fantastic success rate since taking over 4 years ago. It's around 85%, which is better than any other captain in international rugby in modern times. But this England team baked the All Blacks in their own cake tin in Wellington last week. And they're looking to create history at Telstra Dome in Melbourne, Australia this evening.
Well, the England side, Gordon, they'll have their friends and family back there in London, all watching the game. About lunchtime back there in England. Pete, strawberries and cream will be out. Wimbledon's about to start. The Ascot races are on. It's party time back there.
And they know this is the big one. They might have wanted to beat the New Zealanders at home, but they know that they can't say they're the #1 team until they beat the Aussies on Aussie soil.
Well, it's the Cook Cup at stake, and half a dozen of these players were in the Lions team that lost to Australia a couple of years ago.
Well, the main threat to the Wallabies tonight will be the 6, 7 and 8 of England. Hill, Back and Delalio. They boast 173 caps between them, big, strong, and they'll be looking to turn over Australia's ball at the breakdown. In the backs, Jonny Wilkinson, what an outstanding player he'll be. He can kick left and right foot, and for me, he's the best player in the world at the moment. The player I'm really looking forward to seeing tonight is Jason Robinson. He'll relish the firm conditions tonight under the roof, firm pitch, and his clash with Joe Roth is what I'm really looking forward to.
Yes, and he can expect to see quite a bit of ball. There he is, little Jason Robinson. Well, he came to rugby union after a glittering career in rugby league with Wigan and also Great Britain. And he has been tipped by Nas Porter to be the star of the World Cup in 2003.
What an absolute fantastic night we've got here. The roof is closed in the Telstra Dome. All the players, both sides, are really looking forward to taking each other apart. They know this is the big one. Delalio, as he walked out through the tunnel, you could see in his eyes, there he is now. He's laying the law down to his forwards. He knows that they have to produce the goods.
And down on the touchline, Chris Handy, as we await the Australian team.
There is a resolve, Gordon, in this team to win where they couldn't for the Lions. And there's the same resolve in the eyes of George Gregan leading his team onto Telstra.
Well, he's lost the last 2 test matches against England and Twickenham in charge of this Wallaby outfit. He made a round trip for the birth of his second child last year after flying out of Dublin to be back inside a week at Twickenham. And George Gregan is looking to end the drought as far as the Lily Whites are concerned.
Australia realise, and look at George Gregan, he realises as well, they've got to make this the game that they can launch into the World Cup. They've got to crack at the heart of this English side to put them back in their place before the start of the World Cup. They think they're the best, the English, but Australia do not believe that. Every player in Australia does not believe that.
So the Australians had their captain's run here at Telstra Dome on match eve. They've been out warming up, doing tackling drills as well.
And Australia, it's about experience in the forward pack. They've got to look towards Noriega, Giffen and Kefu to put their hands up. They've got to make sure that they keep the English forward pack, who are strong and mobile, at bay. In the backs, George Gregan. He's got to keep a cool head tonight. He's done it in the last 2 tests. Will he do it again tonight? But they've also got to look to Roth and Latham. They've got to make sure that they give some help to Gray in the number 10. The position that is going to be the break or the make of this game. If Nathan Gray can weave magic, Australia will do well.
So the 2 sides lining up for the anthems. Nathan Gray did play half a game at Twickenham back in 2000 as a fly half in the number 10 jumper. There he is, second from the right. And he is very much the man in the hot seat this evening. So standing by now for the anthems, and firstly Nisho Fitzgibbon with God Save the Queen.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our
quite surreal, that the anthem we used to sing and now the one we are known by.
David Campbell, son of the famous dad Jimmy Barnes, with Advance Australia Fair. And a special welcome to our viewers in South Australia as the Wallabies, the Vodafone Wallabies, are playing England at Telstra Dome in Melbourne for the Bundaberg Rum Rugby Series, and Australia having lost its last 3 clashes against the Englishmen, but starting very well in 2003 with victories over Ireland and then Wales last weekend, and of course the Englishmen coming off that huge arm wrestle against the All Blacks before prevailing by 15-13.
Well, back in 1998, the English put everything they could into beating Australia in the centenary test. It was one that they wanted, and Clive Woodward left the shores absolutely gutted because Australia came away with that one.
Public have made the Wallabies very welcome in their hometown, and their adoring fans are here in numbers. In goal.
So our referee for this evening is David McHugh, a 47-year-old from Cork in Ireland, and he was the man tackled by that huge South African Peter Van Zyl in Durban in the test match between the Springboks and New Zealand, and had his shoulder dislocated. So horrendous moment for David McHugh back then, but now one of the high points of his career. Jonny Wilkinson gets this 28th test match between Australia and England underway, and immediately David Giffen takes it from the kick-off, and a strong driving maul from the Wallabies. First penalty of the game.
And straight away we see the English, they're trying to spoil, put pressure on George Gregan. He's going to make sure he gets out and gets nice and clean to get this back line going. Hopefully it won't be a penalty-a-thon that it was last week.
You've got to be bound on. You can't just lean over and slap the ball down. Quite clear, but pressure right from the start. The English side split their forward pack. The Wallabies had to respond and then came straight up the middle. And I think that's where the Wallabies want to come, though. That's England's strength.
Short line out from Australia on halfway.
Let's go.
David Giffen, number 4. This is Nathan Sharp. Gregan taken on by Delalio, who came across too early. Second penalty.
But isn't it good to see David McHugh putting the rulings in early in the game?
He wants to make sure he stamps his authority on this nice and early. He wants to have it a clean game. He doesn't want to be the centre of attention. He wants to get in there and blow that whistle as little as possible.
So you're saying we shouldn't be fooled?
Well, at this stage it'll be interesting to see what happens, but he's aware of what happened last weekend. He wants to make sure that he's taking it taking a very little play.
Let's go, hooker.
Attacking zone for the Wallabies. That's given.
Advantage knocked on.
Couldn't hold on to it. Delalio, 10 from halfway. Bracken comes in. Wilkinson around Kefu.
Let's forward, guys.
And a forward pass. Early nerves from both sides.
Again, the Wallabies are played
10 was forward
by a line-out in an attacking position. Got to take those opportunities. Got to get it right early.
Engage. Okay, scrum off.
Kefu taking on Richard Hill. Gray, Wilkinson underneath. Delalio over the top.
Stay white.
Kefu. Latham was cut out. This is Lyons running like a three-quarter.
Stay on your feet.
35 metres out. Roth calls for it. And he was driven backwards there by Will Greenwood.
Great defence by England there. They were spread across the pitch. The Wallabies started to move them around, and a great tackle there by Will Greenwood.
Australia were doing good work at the breakdown. This is the area, and we see on this occasion that Greenwood, he's put in good defence. Unfortunately, Australia in the hooker, Jeremy Paul, going over the ball.
It's just discipline, simple things, do them right.
Well, Australia really needed a ripper there before the ball went to ground. 25 metres out from the Wallaby goal line. That's Hill. England with plenty of line-out options. Bracken and Johnson. He's in behind the Wallaby defence. Slowed down. Greenwood. Cohen.
Move away, tackle goal.
22-metre line for the Wallabies. Thompson and Johnson again.
Josh Lucy, their fullback, is up in the line. No one deep for the English side.
Huge tackle there by Turanui. And that's Tindall who goes across field. Lucy, the fullback. Wallabies making sure of their first-time tackle so far. Now Johnson again. He's almost been their most prolific ball handler so far. Wilkinson. Lucy. Greenwood. Last-ditch tackle there. Chris Latham saved a certain try. Kneel back. They want it out wide for Woodman. Australia being pressured here by England, just metres out. That's Neil back.
Stay.
Robinson with the dancing feet.
Great continuity by England.
Neil Bracken again. Sees a gap. Almost.
3 goals.
This is Will Greenwood. Wilkinson. Cohen's wrapped up.
Australia got to make sure they don't give away a penalty.
Greenwood again now. Too strong. First try. His dad, Dick, played against the Wallabies in a losing side at Twickenham back in 1967.
Well, don't worry about the penalty. It's the tries that count. For the English, it was the clean-out as the players taken it forward that did the damage. The Wallabies were stretched, the hole open, over.
The big problem here was that Australia just weren't coming up in defence. Good quick ball from the English. They punched it forward. And we see there Kefu just stood his ground, but you can't do that so close to the line, and they've gone over.
What great work by England. The 14th phase, they maintain the ball, and what they're doing is making Australia make tackles.
Converted try, England ahead by 7-0.
Sharpie, there is no way this is only going to take us half a day. But it's not just us, mate. Bear's on his way with some heavy-duty equipment.
You ready to get into it?
And this is where Australia have got to bounce back. They've got to keep composure. They've got to work to the plan that they train day in and day out.
So Nathan Gray. That one going a little too deep. Comfortably taken by the captain, Johnson. Back, ripped it away.
Advantage goal.
And
advantage goal.
Mistake there by England.
No advantage, guys.
Ball coming back for Bracken. He wasn't expecting it.
One of those rare opportunities that comes, a turnover. Now they've got a strike. Now the measure of this Wallaby team is whether they can use it.
You okay?
Great chance to see these two scrummers. Huge front row of England, outweighing the Wallabies by some 30 or so kilos in the front row. It evens out over the pack.
In the England defensive line, we see Josh Lucy moving into defence on the right wing, and Jason Robinson moving where he plays for his club Sale at 15.
Let's go, scrum half.
So it's 25 metres out. This is Gray. Steve Kefu well wrapped up. Now Gregan and Todai Kefu. Straight into Tindall. He made a few metres. Gregan. Here comes Sailor. And just over the touchline, you could hear the crowd oohing and then cheering.
On that occasion there, good work by Wendell Sailor. George Gregan's run sideways. He was trying to link up with his man. The only option he had was put it to the air. Wendell Sailor, good work by him. Kept his eye always on the ball. Unfortunately, the touch beat him.
So Johnson comfortably at the front.
Stay, goal.
22-metre line.
Stay.
Delalio, the former England captain.
Side, goal.
There are 5 England captains in the forward pack. Charged down by Tiranui. Australia's chance now.
Knocked on goal.
And a little knock on by the Wallabies. Half chance there for the men in goal.
And there we see Jason Robinson. Kicking game, not his forte, but Australia. Great charge down by Australia. Here we see Mike Tindall.
Pressure, and you've got to take advantage of this opportunity. England scrambles so well. They cover it up, they balance and go back to the line. And I think it's an indication of the difference in the two teams. England kept the ball in their hand in the Wallaby 22. Australia kicked it away.
No, it's still in. It's okay. Stay, goal.
So Wilkinson, they're running it here. That's Greenwood wrapped up behind the advantage line. England taking an unnecessary risk, and Australia forces a turnover and gets the penalty.
Fantastic work by Australia there, and that started all the way back at the scrum. Good scrum, good pressure, good work by Bill Young, bringing it up the left-hand side to put the pressure, put the breakaways towards the 5-8.
So opportunity here for Joe Roth, point-blank range, 7-0.
I was happy with it.
It happens in the blink of an eye. A good financial plan can help you make the most of every moment. AXA, be life confident.
So Joe Roth just 10 or 12 metres out from the upright. And this is a certain 3 points for Australia. Four points the difference. We've had 10 minutes of play.
The beauty that Australia provided there was that it's one of the first times they've got down into the 22-metre zone of the English, and they came away with points. That's the critical part. That's what they have to do all game long. When they get down into the English half, they must put points on the board.
And a good boost for Joe Roth. He's a confident kicker, and he has to hit the first one over. He's got the first 3 points for the Wallabies.
Well, a real morale booster there for the Wallabies. Martin Johnson coming through on Sharp. But Sharp with some good Aussie rules skills. He played the game as a youngster in Wagga Wagga. Here's Lucy coming up with Roth.
Advantage goal.
Roth did well.
No advantage, knocked on.
Again, the crumbs. The Wallabies have forced that error. Now they've got to use it. Keep advancing. George Gregan kicking twice so far, which is a good sign to see him exploring various options.
So the raging bull for England against Bill Young, Australia. Quick heel for the Wallabies, but Todai Kefu caught from behind. Gray, Roth. This is Latham and Sailor. Sailor with Robinson in front. The two rugby league superstars in confrontation. 12 from halfway. But England's so good at forcing the turnover when the ball goes out wide. Roth having to scramble back here. And once it goes over the goal line, providing it doesn't go over the dead ball line or touch in goal, it comes back for a 22 restart when the player forces it.
Well, if that was Roth or Latham instead of Sailor, the little kick man-on-man would have seen them around them. And that probably is the subtle difference. Great to get the ball wide. Sailor had one-on-one. He'd got outside his man, Robinson to beat, and just gets pulled down. The play stops.
So Ben Cohen was across from the other wing to win that ball at the breakdown.
Fantastic work by Cohen there. He's gone over the top, presence of mind to dive on the loose ball and pop it up to his supporting player.
So Nathan Gray with a well-placed restart. Kay didn't take it cleanly. Australia's ball. Alert work there from David Gifford. Turanui up to first receiver. This is Gray.
Hands away, wide.
Now Gregan. Steve Kefu taking on Wilkinson and Delalio over the top. Those two love to work in concert in defence. Jeremy Paul pins his ears back.
This is better by Australia, getting some phases going, using the ball.
And Nathan Gray angling towards touch. He doesn't want to go out on the full. Well, he's got it on a string at the moment, Nathan Gray.
And what he's done is advance the play. He's got his forwards running forward. Just got to keep it popping up there. Great work. Left-footed kickers all around tonight. Latham, Roth, Nathan Gray, Jonny Wilkinson. They're everywhere.
Well, in the centenary test, I remember a celebrated Australian inside centre being shunted into fly half, and also a couple of years earlier against England.
Long time ago now, Gordon.
How difficult is it, though, for Nathan Gray?
They're two different positions, you know, inside centre and number 10, they're totally different positions, and here we see England go wide and Jonny Wilkinson use his left foot.
Sailor's back here. But a sensational kick there by Wilkinson, and he's taken play to the 10-metre line.
Now, there's a man who's got the ball on a string. I don't know about Nathan Gray so far. That last kick he did, we see there, perfect balance. He's drilled it to within inches of the sideline, and he's put it right on the spot. Nathan Gray on the other hand, I think that one that came off his foot there was more good luck than good design.
Can I qualify that and say it was a rickety piece of string?
Very much so. Hopefully he'll be able to shore it up for the rest of the game.
Giffen got a hand on it. Delalio knocked on, but the throw wasn't straight.
Again, critical, simple errors that are costing Australia dearly. And what it's about getting or keeping the initiative. They've lost it, turned it over there. The ball's supposed to travel right down the middle of the two lines, and it was well on Australia's side.
David McHugh keeping firm control. And Greenwood and Wilkinson. And a knock on there by Tindall. The pass was forward anyway. Counters on for Sailor. He bumps off Kay. 8 from halfway. Nathan Gray wants it. The backs are lined out on the left. Tore Kefu.
Move away, White, that's forward. Move away, White, stay White.
Ball coming out slowly for George Gregan.
Stay, just move away, let him go. Stay.
Now Latham. He hesitated. Delalio has regained. That's Vickery with the headgear. Taking 3 Wallabies with him. Bracken and Wilkinson. Johnson. Back. Overlap. Thompson. 3 on 2. Greenwood almost in for his second.
Move away, go on.
Phil Wall with a try saver.
Lucky let off for the Wallabies. Thompson, the hooker in the number 2 jersey. So strong out wide. Stayed on his feet. That was the key to it. There he is.
We've seen Thompson, we've seen Vickery with the ball in hand making huge metres for England.
Thompson running like a back there. Luckily enough, he didn't get that ball away. The previous play we see Nathan Gray going for the intercept and let Thompson run like you called the rampaging bull before. Well, this man's just the same size as Vickery, but he's got the speed to burn.
He's converted from the back row by Ian McGeechan. He's a coach at Northampton. And Chris Latham just putting a bit of sanity back into it for Australia, but England looking very threatening and anything but boring with the ball in hand.
16 minutes into this game and Australia have already missed 5 tackles, England 2.
That's Nathan Sharp. Noriega. And again, Australia spoilt in the line-outs. 3 times it's happened on their own throw, Clive Woodward. who came out here with the inexperienced England team in 1998, and they lost by 76-0.
Stay down back.
Costly errors, those line-outs. Turns the play over to the English.
This is Cohen. Robinson's with him here. Roth stays on him. Tindall to Lucy. England really switching things around. We've seen Will Greenwood up as first receiver. Now Wilkinson beat Gray, who rushed up. 35 out from the goal line.
Move away, 3 goal.
Bracken took it ahead. Now Woodman.
This is where they'll try and suck the Australian defence in before they move the ball wide.
Wilkinson and Cohen. Driving defence by Phil Waugh.
Oh, great work by Waugh.
Attacking team.
Very attacking team. England getting the scrum, but unfortunately for Waugh, he did some good work there. Good tackle, then back up onto his feet. Tried to take the ball, but just wasn't able to bring it off.
No. Then we got to change the jersey.
Crisp, go forward rugby. England, simple.
So it's England leading Australia by 7-3.
We might be bigger and stronger than the opposition, but the big issue is we've got to be smarter. That's what this team's all about. Let's go.
So line out here for the Wallabies, but correction, scrum here for the England team, and they have the feed. They were going forward at that breakdown. Very solid England scrum. They squeeze ahead. Greenwood, so clever, this tall, rangy centre.
Hands away, tackler. Advantage goal, knocked on.
Lost there by Greenwood as he went to ground. So Australia forcing a crucial turnover.
It was good defence by Wendell Saylor on the outside there. He came up, and as we see Will Greenwood here, Phil Waugh made a lot of ground from that scrum to get across there to force the knock on by Will Greenwood.
One of the problems here is that though Australia win the ball, unless they use it, they're going to kick it out to give the England side another use.
Bracken goes wide. This is Gray, and he has Roth with him. He stretches. Joe Roth tries on heat for Australia. Bracken couldn't hold on. Knocked back. It's still alive.
Move away, tackler, wide.
A lot of room to the right-hand side here for the Wallabies.
Steve Kefu's out on the right. Sharp. So Australia really using the width of the field and finding the gaps. Nathan Gray. Delalio wraps him up. 30 metres out from the England goal line. They forced a turnover as Woodman, with brute strength, comes away. Wilkinson now. Delalio and Lucy. Back. Too keen to get the pass away.
They're strewn all over the field. Such is the ebb and flow. It's terrific stuff. You can hear the hits at ground level. Terrific bust by Roth. He gets the width and then backs himself. Outside Lucy. And he has everything at his fingertips except that ball, George Gregan.
We'll see here. Lines up back. Puts it right under the rib cage. He'd be feeling that one, and it's a good one. Back rower on back rower. They don't get too many opportunities, and he made him pay.
So it's still 7-3 in favour of England.
Only Powerade's unique balance of electrolytes and carbohydrates gives you that little bit extra.
Come on, Boogie. 50 to go, mate.
The Australian Wallabies, powered by Powerade.
So Australia now with the scrum feed. And I think we might be short of a ball.
Well, they spoke earlier about boredom. That's not what we're getting here tonight. Both teams want to free that ball up. They want to show what their back lines can do.
Bracken coming through on Waugh. Here's Gray. Tiranui. The pass was behind him, but he was still able to get to the advantage line. Gray again. Latham's with him. Todai Kefu. Saylor in his pocket. But another turnover. It seems to be happening when Australia goes to ground out wide. This is Richard Hill. Nathan Gray comes in to wrap him up.
No advantage.
Offside play by the Australians. This is Thompson. taking the quick tap. Robinson. Broken play here. And Gregan lined him up and rammed him backwards.
Australia is still in trouble here.
This is Greenwood showing the ball. Sailor goes down.
Hands away, goal tacklers.
England with a big line out here on the right. Vickery to Johnson.
The Wallabies are letting England come to them. They've got to move forward, move up on them, cut out the space and the time.
This is Cohen. Phil War around his hips.
Move away, goal 7.
But they're slowly working forward here. Wilkinson. Tindall. Wilkinson on the loop. Joe Roth took him face to face. 22-metre line. England ahead by 7-3. This is Delalio. He was able to offload. Robinson now. Cohen. 3 Wallaby players there. And not a great option there.
And that's a sign of the Wallabies' great defence. When they frustrate England, they'll have to kick, and that's what Ben Cohen did there.
Well, his role model is his uncle, George, who played against Pelé and was in England's 1966 World Cup winning side.
He must have been the goalkeeper because he couldn't kick. That was an absolute shocker.
Thinking exactly the same thing.
Australia now just working over this England forward pack, and they've marched this ball 15 metres. So the Wallabies giving the England pack something to think about, and Latham with a searching kick down the touchline.
What an absolute cracker, and that's what the Australian forward pack needed. They've been in there working hard, desperately defending, and that's the sort of stuff that raises the spirits. The ball goes back to Latham and he shunts it downfield to 30 metres out. Australia have been working hard. 43 tackles, Australia to 20 England.
Here's Wilkinson.
Move away, tackler, goal. Move away, 7.
Well, the Australians having to work overtime in defence. England have turned the ball over, so have the Australians, but we've seen some quality rugby from both sides. And Wilkinson from inside his 22. Quick throw here for Sailor. He's allowed to do that. Up to Cohen. Gregan went without it. I'm not sure he was expecting it.
Well, Wendell's not usually one to give a flick pass. George Gregan, who's usually the one giving it. Terrific initiative shown by Wendell Sailor, often criticised for his lack of rugby subtlety. And he saw Gregan, wanted to continue it. This goes astray.
Martin Johnson, the man, the target at the front. Delalio comfortably over the advantage line. Back is there to clean out. Here they come now. Greenwood. Cohen was supposed to get it, but Nathan Gray read it. Jeremy Paul into scrum half. Now Roth and Gregan. Sharp. Just caught by Delalio. Halfway line. England still ahead by 7-3. David Lyons. The Molong man of war, they've turned it over. Greenwood kicks ahead. Advantage has accrued. It's back to Latham. And he looks for the safety of touch.
What a tackle was that before on Lyons.
This is Wilkinson on the half volley, and Robinson now. Danger man. Centre field halfway. Wilkinson. This is Lucy. Roth managed to flick it out of his arms, then got the kick away. Play on. Turanui. Cohen there first. Last line. Steve Kefu arrives. So does Robinson for England.
He has to let go.
Didn't release.
Professional foul.
Move away.
This is a classic situation that the All Blacks faced last week. David McHugh now's got to step in and do something straight away. He held on, he was on his own, there was men on their feet over him. Have a look, he goes to ground. You've got to let go when you go to ground immediately. There it is, it's down now, he must let it go. He holds on, there's 2 Australians over him. He puts another arm in there and still holds on. If that's not a professional foul, then I don't know what, and I'm just amazed.
Let's have a look at the AXA angle here for Joe Roth. He's managed to slot an easy one in front. But this is certainly a tester for him. And this would pull Australia back to within a point. But the Wallabies have surged back into this contest, 35.5 metres out, and a fairly sharp angle for Joe Roth.
And as he did against the Lions, it was Roth that was the game turner. Could it be the same tonight? 7 points turned into a possible 3.
Well, at one stage there, I think everybody except Joe Roth thought that the ball had been knocked on.
Well, Roth certainly knocked the ball on, but he was able to kick ahead, and the referees judged there that he had a measure of control. Subjective ruling there by the referee that surprised England. So Joe Roth, can he close the gap to 1 point? Just outside the left-hand upright, shaving the paint almost.
7 points becomes no points.
We can see England where they're running at Nathan Gray as the top tackler for the Wallabies with 7 at the moment. They're really trying to tie him up.
Sharp underneath here, and again some terrific fingertip control from Nathan Sharp. But England with numbers drive over. Jonny Wilkinson wrapped up well behind the advantage line. Phil Ward trying to reef it back here.
It's the power of the English pack at the breakdown that's really working in their favour.
That's Phil Ward for you. Gray. Shocking pass, but Saylor picked it up. He's going backwards to go forwards. Not quite to plan. And then Australia just flopping down, coming in on the side of the tackle.
Over the top. Okay, 9.
David Giffen trying to seal the ball off. Wendell Saylor gets a lucky bounce, starts to head back infield to look for his support, doing the right thing, but as he's gone to ground, we see the flopping over of Giffen over the ball, over the top of Saylor and the opposition, and that is against the rules, and a penalty is right. Smart work by the referee, not real smart work by Giffen.
So we've seen a lot of mistakes in the game, but on the Richter scale, the entertainment level is high.
Both teams wanting to throw the ball around, especially after turnovers. Australia 11, England 10.
Ten-metre line, Australian territory. England the only try scorer. Here's Greenwood. He took a long, raking 30-metre pass. Now Hill. Robinson. Roth Tiranui watching him like a hawk. Bracken to Cohen. And Johnson stopped in his tracks on the 22. This is Woodman. And another mistake by England.
Referee got the call from the touch judge. It was forward. Good defence again by the Wallabies. They zeroed in on Johnson. The Vickers tripod machine gunners.
And
former Wallaby kept on rail cam right down. There it is. The big Qantas action. Right there, you could see how far offside he was when he received the pass.
And some marvellous work there by Phil Waugh, who's been absolutely outstanding so far.
His body positioning over the top of the ball has been magnificent.
No change to the score in the 29th minute.
Sharpie, there is no way this is only going to take us half a day. But it's not just us, mate. Bear's on his way with some heavy-duty equipment.
You ready to get into it?
So the scrum resulting in George Gregan going to ground on the 22. Jeremy Paul's gone into scrum half, and Latham having to hurry that one into touch.
See the pressure George Gregan's been getting by Kyran Bracken. That's about the 4th time there, and Australia just can't clear the ball from the back of that scrum.
Dead right, Tim. The edge of the ruck defence by England has been outstanding. The pace off the mark straight at Gregan, just stunning.
This is Hill again. Johnson. Oh, there's good numbers here for England. Woodman tried to pop it up for Hill. Back's pass was loose. Great work by Wilkinson. Try coming up. Tindall. It was all about letting the ball do the work. Brilliant hands by by the Englishman.
Second try. Well, this is a team on song. It looked for all the world as if it had broken down, but they kept trusting in themselves and kept pushing the ball. It came inside and the mistake was made when they waited for Woodman to come to them. And then the shuffle came. Everybody in the line, everybody did their job well.
Well, here we go. Watch the vision and the flick by Jonny Wilkinson, and then the flick on by Woodman. Great try by England. That's a very important try 10 minutes from half-time.
What a strike by the England players. The tight forwards were in there and the backs did the finishing. Wilkinson, the sharpshooter. He found the woodwork. 12-3 to the visitors.
Wolfglass, Australian wine at its peak, proudly supports another peak performer, the Wallabies.
And that was a great try by England, because about 4 or 5 times there it could have broken down, but that's what they need to do. That's what Clive Woodward has been drilling into them.
So Martin Johnson.
That's a more. Stay on.
Look at the support he gets as he takes the ball forward.
Neil Back has it here, committing all the Australian forwards, and now they clear it at the perfect moment. And a huge raking kick here by Jonny Wilkinson. That one's gained over 50 metres on his right foot.
And there we see the skill of Jonny Wilkinson. What a player this man is. On his right foot, finds touch inside the Wallabies 22 and putting the Wallabies back under pressure.
It's his wrong foot, but he does it better with his right foot almost than he does with his left.
And that Qantas rail cam, it can't get any closer than that, nearly knocking it off its rails.
Jeremy Paul reacted well.
Hands away, White. That's form. Stay, White.
So the Wallabies under the hammer at the moment. England taking their opportunities. This is Lucy and Robinson. Cohen's on his left. Little bit of a stutter step. Clean through. Robinson. Couldn't get the pass out to Johnson. Thompson knocks on. Big let off there for the Wallabies.
Hands away.
Robinson embarrassing the Australian defence. And Latham now.
Advantage over.
Going up the touchline.
Well, Robinson, what do you say? He shimmied at the Gabba and beat the man on screen, Chris Latham, to score for the Lions. And he ran at what appeared to be the entire Wallaby pack. And he just shimmies. Look at him, wave the hips. He really rarely moves. Squeaked through the gap. Bad miss by Toto Kefu. And then he creates havoc.
And look who it was who brought him down. It was Phil Waugh. This is Thompson. Nicely taken by Nathan Gray, who's been all action at number 10. This is Lucy, elusive. Scrambled to ground by George Gregan. It's in Australia's territory now. England on a roll. Robinson again. That's a marvellous tackle. That was Gray, but this is Cohen. Wilkinson's with him. Cohen throwing a wild pass. England keep it alive. Neil Back. So much confidence in this England team, and Robinson getting so involved.
Move away,
Bracken brought down. Lucy comes in to clean out. This is Woodman. Bill Young underneath him. Lucy into scrum half. Delalio out wide now for Tindall.
Australia have got to keep making the first up tackles.
Well done by Toto Kefu. Got himself over the ball, got his hands on the ball and placed it back. Caused the knock on.
Well, lucky man there. The man's gone to the ground.
Well, clearly in the tight play, the English 1, 2 and 3. Down there, the Qantas rail cam shows you how hard it is. But it's their front three that are embarrassing the Wallabies' front three in terms of the amount of times they're handling and the way they're taking the ball forward.
We see Josh Lucy just in the bottom of your picture there wearing number 15. England have moved him to the right wing and have allowed Robinson, who's got the number 14 jersey on, to go back to fullback.
Well, it's what the modern game's all about, isn't it? The interchanging of positions. We've seen Greenwood playing as a first receiver in the early stages, surprising the Australians, and this man, Robinson, has been absolutely electric.
This is a danger period for Australia. Under 5 minutes to go. They cannot let the English get any more points before half-time.
That's Ben Kay. 10-metre line, Australian territory.
Buddha spoke about the front row. Thompson, 6 hit-ups. Woodman, 5. Where is the Australian front row? The English pack now starting to show its dominance.
Keeping it up off the ground, and this is really difficult to defend against. Anyone watching while the ball is up off the ground, you can't pull it down. It's an immediate penalty. And they are past masters at this.
Well,
you can't see the ball, but this is one of the great phases of rugby. It seems strange.
It's just exhausting, and the petrol tank of the Wallaby forwards, England have taken this 30 metres.
And Neil back, he'd be the player at the back of the ruck there, holding the ball up. Kyran Bracken, number 9, waiting for the ball to come back on a platter.
England still has it in control here. Look at the composure of these men in white. Australia, they're forwards at 6s and 7s. It's like a slow motion replay shot here, but I'll tell you what, these Englishmen are full bore.
They're going to have to keep the ball moving. Neil back at the back, waiting for his opportunity.
Gregan comes in.
Great work by George Gregan, straight into him. He won't let him go over.
They've taken that one from the 10-metre line. Can Australia hold on here? Wilkinson and Sailor. Cohen's there, off his head, and Robertson.
Advantage to Australia. Referee called it while the ball was in the air. That push from out wide was forward, but they camp a player out wide, and unless you mark up on him, it really makes it difficult. Wilkinson putting it on a sixpence.
I actually called you twice to move it away. I won't be.
So the ball was tapped forwards.
I'll decide.
And I think Robinson missed it anyway.
Wasn't it great to see the good old-fashioned rolling maul there? For 22 metres, England marched it towards the Wallabies try line, and the defence from the Wallabies just held out in the end.
Well, psychologically, what does that do to an opposing forward pack?
It's crushing. Dan and I are dumbfounded, I think, because to think you're in the middle of it, it's just like being in the middle of a ring dryer and you can't get out of it, and you're thinking, what have I got to do? And your first thought's to take it down, but you can't.
And the problem is the backs are all waiting there going, give me the ball, I can see a gap. But the forwards, they're greedy. They don't get to hold onto it too often, and they just want to keep it until they put it over the line themselves.
Wait.
So Australia has to hold on here at all costs as we close on half-time. Still 3 minutes to the break.
Important for George Gregan to get this ball away with Kyran Bracken breathing down his throat.
It's gone down,
you can see number 9 for England, Kyran Bracken, waiting for that ball to get out of the scrum. Wanting to put a lot of pressure on Gregan 5 metres out from the Wallabies line.
Look at the statistics. England 62% of possession, Australia 38. Just shows you the toll it's taking on the Australian team.
Bracken wraps up Todai Kepu, but he was able to get a couple of metres.
Team going forward, guys.
And this is all, I guess, soaking up the game clock for Australia, who have really done it tough over the last 10 minutes.
Not being able to clear the ball from your set plays. Australia have struggled in the line-out and in the scrum to get clean ball.
Stay down, back off.
So George Gregan.
Balls out, play on.
And he's gained about 10 metres only.
For the uninitiated, that scrum was good by Australia because they were able to bring the left-hand side up, which takes the breakaway from England out of the game and less pressure on George Gregan. We saw the face of Clive Woodward there. He's wanting the English to score before half-time because he knows it's critical time for them.
The Wallabies are still in the holding cell here. That's Martin Johnson. They want another rolling maul, and Neil Back has it right at the back, number 7. He slid back like an orange pip.
You can see the ball there tucked under Back's arm. He's number 7. Look at him, the little rabbit.
Australia able to isolate it there through Todai Kepu, Wilkinson and Greenwood. This is Tindall. Wendell Sailor with a good covering tackle. It's 3 on 4. Cohen. Lucy. Joe Roff stays with his man. A minute to half-time. England looking for their third try. Delalio balloons the pass out wide to Vickery. Australia covering up well. This is Johnson. Wendell Saylor met his man 7 metres out.
Great work from Bill Young, taking out his opposite number.
Delalio again.
Getting through the phases, England, up to the 6th phase now.
Taking out a couple of defenders as well. Again, the kick across field. Roth read it beautifully. The chase is on. Latham herring after it.
Well, your first thought is relief for the Wallabies. And that's probably what Joe Roth... I haven't seen him ever put the ball to boots so quickly. He's keen to get away, but again, the English poised to launch another attack.
There we see Jonny Wilkinson on his right foot. Didn't hit it that well. It's a plan England have a lot of the time. They have a player very wide out on the sideline. Ben Cohen, he was waiting there to take that AFL style.
What were they thinking of? They had Australia on the rack there and they kick it away. Why do that? It might be a plan, but it's not. It's only a 50-50 plan.
We'll expect the hooter any time. And Thompson almost getting through the tackle there of Jeremy Paul. England still stalking for this try. They're on halfway. Kyran Bracken and Wilkinson tries to step round Gray. Made about 8 metres. Johnson. Inexhaustible.
Number 12. Obstruction. Number 12. Take out in front.
That's Mike Tindall, the inside centre from Bath. The man who obstructed. So the Wallabies look as though they'll preserve the scoreboard, which sees them trailing by 9.
On that occasion there, the penalty was because the man was in front of the person with the ball and he stopped one of the tacklers from Australia trying to get at the man with the ball.
I think David McHugh from Ireland, the referee tonight, has done very well. Martin Johnson, geez, powerful. Big forward leader. Goes crashing to ground as the whistle blows.
So England scoring tries in the 6th and 30th minutes through Will Greenwood and also Mike Tindall. They're enjoying a 12-3 advantage, and they certainly took the honours in a very exciting first 40 minutes here at Telstra Dome. Second try for England. They lead by 12-3 at the break. 2 tries to 0, and Australia with a big job in front in the second term. With me in commentary, 2 dual World Cup champions, Dan Crowley and Tim Horan. Chris Handy on the touchline.
This is a big task for Australia at the moment, and the tight 5 have got to put their hand up, especially people like Paul, Noriega and Young. Their front row are out, the opposition front row are outdoing them. They've got to put their hand up now.
Martin Johnson puts his hand up and Neil Back gets the rebound. 30 metres out from the England goal line. Well, the England side just cut down the turnovers, the errors in that last 15 minutes, and Australia couldn't get its hand on the ball. But did Wendell get a hand on that before it went over the touchline? He did. No.
Once again, we see Jonny Wilkinson making sure his kicks go out. He doesn't want to give Australia's back 3, Saylor, Latham and Roth, a chance to run with the ball.
I think Wendell was very lucky there. To me, it looked like he had a bit of a fingertip on that one.
Thank you.
This is the area that's been a disappointment for the Wallabies. Good, clean ball.
10 from halfway. Jeremy Paul and Saylor. Wasn't supposed to get it. And he's been caught about 5 metres behind that line of touch. England slowing down delivery of the recycle. Nathan Gray. Inside Wilkinson. Thompson couldn't bring him down. Brilliant charge by Nathan Gray. Kefu. Through Wilkinson again. Lucy from behind. George Gregan saying he was interfered with. Referee plays advantage. No, he says play on.
Australia robbed then a certain penalty. You could hear George Gregan saying he didn't come back through the gate.
That means he didn't come from behind the last feet in the ruck and maul. There's a Big clean out by Nathan Sharp.
Turn over to Australia.
Put that one down to Sharp.
That's better. Go forward. Take them on. Get in their face. Get the points.
Caught the ball and then he fell. Your legs are the same as your
All
hands.
started by the little
Move
darting
away.
run from Nathan Gray. England were waiting for Gray to put his left foot to the ball.
Now watch Nathan Sharp here, just clean out, kneel back. Not too many people are able to do that. That forced the turnover.
I think Sharp may be struggling with the knee. If he is, it's time to get Vickerman into the fray.
Half-time, Eddie Jones would have said to Nathan, go out there and give us 10 minutes and give us 10 of your best minutes you've got.
On the line, White, please. On the line. Thank you.
Yes, well, Dan Vickerman is warming up.
On the line.
Attacking line out, 22-metre line, England territory. David Giffen. Hand on it there from Ben Kay. Roth. Latham. Just the pass, not quite right, a little behind the man, Steve Kefu.
Move away, White.
We're on the 22-metre line. David Lyons and Toto Kefu.
This is better support for the ball carrier.
Joe Roth calls for it. Giffen, but it was forward.
There's no advantage.
The referee said there was some offside play by England.
No advantage.
No advantage. Australia gets the penalty.
As was said before, Australia have come out with a bit more vigour. Pass from Georgia, inside pass from Joe Roth. Unfortunately, just slightly timed and offside, but Australia still come back for the penalty because the English were offside in a phase beforehand. But that's what they've got to do. They've got to get in the face of the English.
12-3 to England.
It happens in the blink of an eye. A good financial plan can help you make the most of every moment. AXA, be life confident.
And the Australian goal kicker Joe Roth missed with his second attempt. This is very handy. And Dan Vickerman, who represented the South African under-21 team, now a proud Wallaby, set to come on. 12-3 to England. 3 points on offer here for Joe Roth and the Wallabies. And he's a dead-eye marksman. 12 plays 6.
And that would be what Clive Woodward didn't want. He wanted the English to strike back first.
This is the most important part for the Wallabies now, to receive this kickoff. After you score points, you've got to gain possession straight away.
So Dan Vickerman coming on for Nathan Sharp, who's soldiered on valiantly after that medial knee strain sustained at training. That's Vickerman.
Sharp isn't running freely. Probably was a risk taking him in the game. They've looked leaden-legged, the Wallabies. They've started better now. Let's open up.
Well, Vickerman's got a chance here to get his hands on it. He did it superbly. Now Gregan. Roth is steaming through. Gray couldn't hold on. Back. Wrapped up by Joe Roth.
No advantage in the knock-on.
Still, that's good work. Great challenge by Gray. He's gone forward. He's done more than he's been asked to do. Really launching himself in. It was a shame he couldn't get a hand on it. Again, Vickerman, look at him. Struggling to get over that advantage line.
Bracken decided to go himself, and he was well taken by David Lyons. Wilkinson. That's Tindall taken high by War. That's a penalty offence. Referee plays advantage. Reflex action there by Phil War. He'll be spoken to by referee David McHugh.
Just hold on, I got a flagging as well. Just hang on. Yeah. Time out, was he?
Just confirming 7 yellow, high.
7 gold?
Yeah, 7 gold. Yeah.
I'm just going to talk to him.
No problem.
Well, a sensible reaction, I think, from the referee. It was a reflex action by War.
Both agree it was high. Yeah. Just to talking to you. Just get a little bit more.
No malicious intent.
Do we have a interpreter for the referee there?
The touch judge must have thought that David McHugh, a metre away, didn't see that high tackle. That was his reason for coming in.
You've got to get a couple of seconds on, Phil.
The initiative starts now for England. And they'll want to continue this. Probably keep it up off the ground and try and get it deep into the 22.
So Ben Kay, number 5. And Martin Johnson juggles it. And well taken by Vickery. Jonny Wilkinson to Greenwood. Pass looked a little forward. Picked up by the touch judge there, Andre Watson. Greenwood showing the ball, but the timing not quite there.
But that's better work by the Australian defence. The pass there easily forward on the other angle. You could see that had gone forward at least a metre, but the Australian defence is working well. It's starting to get off its line and come up and put pressure on the English back line, denying them time and space.
Trevor Woodman from Gloucester on this side against Noriega. He's a young 24-year-old against the 30-year-old Noriega, making him really work for it. It's a good battle.
Nathan Gray, hard and straight at Wilkinson.
Great clean out.
And now Latham.
Stand goal.
Well, he's really rifled that one, taking play over halfway. Robinson thinks about a quick throw. He goes. Linking up with Cohen.
Move away,
Steve Kefu underneath.
Move away, stay.
Woodman number 1. And Wilkinson. It's Richard Hill.
Move away, goal tackle.
Taken by David Giffen. Now Vickery.
Roll away, 8 goals.
Kieran Bracken comes in.
Wallaby defence taking the space away from the Englishman.
That was David Lyons again. Kefu now. It's still on here for Australia. Nathan Gray. Robinson. Now Jeremy Paul. Australia asked the questions. There's a huge overlap out to the left if they can get it there.
Referee's got his arm up.
Chris Latham.
Still playing advantage.
Neil back trying to pinch it.
Advantage. No advantage. Offside.
Well, England lucky to get out of that one.
All started back with the pressure and the tackle on number 9 for England, Kyran Bracken. Put him under pressure. The turnover came. Morgan Tuanui.
Listen to what he says to Martin Johnson.
Offside midfield. That's twice now we've been down here. Next one of your players who deliberately comes up offside in this area is going to get a yellow card. Is that understood? Yes, sir. Do you want to go back and tell them, please?
I wonder if he does tell them, Buddha.
Won't say a thing. Will not say a thing.
Well, there's a look of resignation there. I think guilty as charged, says Martin Johnson.
Why did the referee not let that play? There was still advantage to Australia. It was at the back of the maul. George Gregan had his hands on it. He could have let play go on, but he didn't.
And again, a possible 7 is a probable 3.
No, it's a good decision by George Gregan to take the 3 points.
So it's England by 12-6. Australia surging back.
Sharpie, there is no way this is only going to take us half a day. But it's not just us, mate. The Bear's on his way with some heavy-duty equipment.
You ready to get into it?
Well, your goal kicker has to nail these. And it all came from, as mentioned by Dan Crowley, David Lyons initially with that big tackle on Kyran Bracken. But the offside play in the midfield, Joe Roff now. Caressed it. Never in doubt. 3 points the difference in the 51st minute.
Hasn't Nathan Gray done well tonight? He stood up and been counted. 8 runs and 13 tackles. He's been asked to do it, and he's done a job tonight.
And the work he has done has made this game an absolute cracker. The Bundy Rum Rugby Series, and it's coming down to the wire.
A thriller at Telstra Dome. Brendan Cannon set to come on in the hooking berth. Tindall got a hand on it. This is Kefu.
Hands away, White.
Phil Waugh cleans out. Australia lost ahead. England's ball here.
There's no advantage, guys. It went forward off goal. White scrum.
Oh, this could be costly. Small error. Big disadvantage.
Australia have got to work hard here. They've got to try and get the ascendancy back. Don't let the English get on the front foot or they will score points.
Two of the quickest England players on the right-hand side of the scrum, Jason Robinson, Josh Lucy.
This is Cohen and Delalio. Nathan Gray coming in for the tackle. Wilkinson. Greenwood brought down by Steve Kefu. Vickerman through. Australia just forcing England back at the moment. Ben Kay. Now he gets ahead. Martin Johnson.
Move away, goal tackler. Hands
Jeremy
away,
Paul, the tackler.
No, goal tackler. You've got to move away from there.
So all of that good work by the Australians undone with this infringement.
He's got to move away.
And England set to push it out by 6
He's got to get away.
after Jonny Wilkinson does the business.
Pretty unlucky there, Jeremy Paul was trying to get away. Martin Johnson probably would have held onto his jersey. But this is what the Wallabies didn't need. Just after those 2 minutes after they've got 3 points, and Jonny Wilkinson steps up to get another 3 for England.
And as Johnny Eels pointed out, this is the way that Wilkinson's looking at it, the AXA angle. It's a piece of cake for him. But Eels had pointed out that the Wallabies had given no opportunities to him in their own half. And they'd be disappointed with that one. Jeremy Paul shaking his head.
Well, you could count this man's misses in the whole of the Six Nations Championship on one hand. He kicked 25 from 28. And this to put his side out by 6. He's a champion. England 15, Australia 9.
Only Powerade's unique balance of electrolytes and carbohydrates gives you that little bit extra.
Come on, Boogie. 50 to go, mate.
The Australian Wallabies, powered by Powerade.
6.
Well, Jeremy Paul's been replaced by Brendan Cannon, but I think the Wallabies have got to get another strike player. It seems when they do take the initiative, they haven't got a game breaker. Latham has been quiet, has been well marked. And maybe Rogers would be the option. Love to get him in early and give him a real crack, probably in the centres.
And up here in the commentary box and right behind you, Buddha, is the man himself, Rogers, warming up as we speak.
So Joe Worsley is on for Richard Hill and also Matt Dawson for Kyran Bracken at scrum half.
My 2 Saracens teammates coming off, Kyran Bracken, Richard Hill. Richard Hill, the typical Pomish whinger.
Is that the Wallabies version of Dan Crowley?
Hold on a second, don't start throwing stones. It's the Telstra Dome, not glass houses there, Buddha.
So this is David Lyons. Gregan clears it quickly to Gray. Kefu. Delalio reacted. Gregan works short side. Turanui. Nathan Gray. Joe Roth. Held on. Chance here for the Wallabies. Kefu. Latham went without it. Ben Cohen for England. Golden chance there, goes begging for the Wallabies.
Advantage over.
So Jonny Wilkinson on his right boot down to Joe Roth, who's sweeping at the back. He sizes up the touchline, looking for an end over end. Wilkinson in the way, and now Robinson with space. Roth across, met by Gray. He cut down his space. Wilkinson. Cohen. 4 on 2. Great hands from Greenwood. This is back.
This is fantastic defence by the Australians. They're throwing themselves into this one. They're up to the task at the moment.
Back it goes to Tindall. Looking to land this one inside the touchline. Nasty bounce. Lucy's there. Latham just a little casual. And you've got to respect this man, Lucy, the England number 15. He's an expert in combat skills.
Tries they make good to get Chris Latham into the game. He just can't take a trick. Came into the line, he couldn't take the ball. That time he looked for some space. Normally a bit of magic there turns it around, but they nailed him.
That's the inexperience of Tiranui there. He's tried to shield Latham from the opposition coming through, but he wasn't having a look to see where that person was and telling Latham. He had his eyes on the ball. He had to concentrate on it.
Yes, well, Lucy, a graduate of the Sandhurst Officer Training School, and that's Ben Kay. Here he goes, the big man, Delalio. Gray again underneath. England threatening to score here, just 8 metres out. Lucy's out to the right.
Wallabies have turned it over.
No, white 5, let it go. Let it go, let it go.
Gee, that was well done by, I think, Steve Kefu on the ground, stayed on his feet, got the ball back to the Wallaby side.
Terrific tackle here on Delalio. He goes to ground. Look at Kefu working on his feet over the ball and wins it. Then Ben Kay won't release it. The referee says release it, but you're better to give away the penalty, he reckons. Now the initiative. The Wallabies have got to grab it. Latham, hungry. Rogers, get into the game.
Cannon back in at hooker. He's got to make sure he shores up this line out.
So Matt Rogers poised to come on for his 8th Test match. Tiranui with lovely hands off his boots. And he shows good power to drive up to the 10-metre line. Well supported by his teammates. This is Steve Kefu.
Steve Kefu's really throwing himself into it now, getting involved.
Noriega makes a dash.
Now the 1 and the 3 for the Wallabies come into their own.
Tiranui, Gray and Latham. Not much on out here. Wilkinson there to meet him.
They talk about the old legs of the English. Is that what's happening into the second half? Are the young Australians coming back?
Here's Nathan Gray and Roth. Lovely pass to Lyons. Look at the step.
Go, you good thing.
David Lyons, 45 metres out. Here's Gray. He was tackled without the ball. Went backwards. And now Vickerman. Wallabies are cranking it up here. Thompson dived on the ball.
He's on the early tackle by White.
And the referee picking up the early tackle on Nathan Gray.
Outstanding scrambling defence by England, though. Gee, they shuffle well. The break came on. It looks like it opened them up. They just move across, slide into place, and here's the sweeper coming. Just look at them, 3 deep. Plenty of composure.
Wasn't this a sensational ball by Joe Roth? Just held it up enough time for David Lyons. Couldn't see. I think it was Kefu on his outside. Tiranui it was. But then they kept the phases going. That's what Australia has to do. George Gregan back to his running game.
Come on, guys.
Well, you could see there Nathan Gray taken out. It looked to be Will Greenwood without the ball, and that's why the penalty was awarded.
That was unfortunate there for Steve Kefu. Lyons had the ball in his right arm. Beautiful position to pass it off, but just didn't have a look.
In the little town of Molong, classic Wallaby Bill Gunther, they'd be applauding this young number 6, David Lyons.
Big steal by Martin Johnson at the front. And there with Wilkinson on his left boot. Takes play out of that pressure zone. 15-9 to England, seeking their first ever win against the Wallabies on Australian soil.
And the 21 jersey of Matt Rogers comes onto the field. Steve Kefu for Tiranui doing the changeover.
Well, this will be exciting to see what happens here. He'll probably move into the number 10 position. Maybe move Nathan Gray out. But it looks like he's actually defending at the moment at 13 at outside centre.
Yeah, I think he'll be at 13. As Gray has done so well at 10. He has it now. It's Kefu and brother Tore. Always makes ground. Gregan. Steve Kefu again. Australia creating some space out on the left. Rogers into first receiver. Latham.
That's what Australia need to do, to get some width on their play, to stretch the England defence.
It's been turned over, though, out wide yet again. Tindall now. No fullback. Cannon here. Sailor.
Oh, he's done well there, Wendell Sailor.
Brilliant. Off he goes. Gray. War. What a tackle by Neil Back. But gold stars there for Wendell Sailor.
Keep the initiative. That's what the Wallabies have got to do.
Gregan and Gray. Rogers. Good pass there to Giffen. Australia moving up towards halfway here.
Still in, rock form.
So England having to do the defending. Kefu, lovely offload to Lyons. The big fellow storms over halfway.
The Wallaby. Oh, that's costly for the Wallabies. They were playing so well, keeping the ball in hand, hitting the line at pace.
You can see how much this game means to both sides. They are flat out. Firstly, the Wallabies in attack, desperate to keep the ball alive. Lyons back on the angle. But look at the defence of the English step up. Delalio pulls him to ground and he gets caught holding on.
So it's England at the moment by 15 to 9 minutes. Anyone's match.
Wolfglass, Australian wine at its peak, proudly supports another peak performer, the Wallabies.
And not the record attendance. We had over 56,000 for the second Lions test between the Wallabies and the Lions back in 2001, but nearly 55,000. The match was a sellout.
Critical time for both sides now. 20 minutes to go in the second half. This is the last game of the season for England. It's their last 20 minutes of the season.
And it looks as though another strike man is about to set foot on Telstra Dome for the Wallabies. Lote Takiri, the 23-year-old Buddha.
Look, this is what they've got to do. Throw caution to the wind and have a crack and get game breakers like Lote Takiri into the play. Now's the time not to keep your powder dry.
Martin Johnson, a tower of strength. Delalio! Kay! David Giffen with a covering tackle. And Australia gets the line-out throw. Brilliant work there by the Aussie number 4.
Clive Woodward would be absolutely livid. Good ball from the line-out from Johnson. Well-executed work by Delalio. He pops the ball back inside, snuffed out by Giffen. Trying to be too smart with the flick behind the back, and it all went wrong.
That's Bickerman. Baptism of fire for him against this much-vaunted England pack. Now George Gregan looking for Latham. Good pressure there from the England offensive players.
The English captain, he's leading from the front yet again in this game. We see there Latham putting a kick in, always as safe as normal. He's put a little bit of an act on there. He loves a bit of an act, Latham. But Johnson, 8 line-out wins, 13 runs. He's very involved.
Clever work by Kefu there to pull the line out, catch it down to ground, but England's been able to maintain the driving maul, and it's 15 metres out.
Once again, look for Neil back. Where is he? At the back of the maul, having ball in his hand, waiting for the right opportunity.
There he is, number 7.
The Leicester Tiger. Controlling all in front of him.
He's gone back into number 4.
That's legal unless you detach and then go back into the person in front of you.
Then Martin Johnson, the skipper, has taken issue with the referee, and he's been penalised for lip. England's been marched 10 metres.
Don't stand on somebody's foot like that again. Don't do it.
Sprung.
That's a blood injury, number 5.
Standing on someone's foot. You'd never have done that as a front rower, Dan Crowley.
I'd be amazed. It depends on whether they're wearing their foot on some other part of their body.
When you're ready.
So you could see there, number 7, Neil back became detached. He wasn't part of the maul. He wasn't bound on properly. And then he joined it again. And that's why it was ruled as obstruction and a free kick, which was changed to a penalty.
Ben Kay off with a blood bin. Looks like a badly busted nose.
Here's Cannon and Gregan. Tore Kefu. Glorious tackle underneath there by Worsley. Still Wars in.
George Gregan didn't see the ball pop out there, and he got caught from behind.
Is it coming back here for Australia?
It's there.
And Latham now. But the Wallabies are down by 6 on the scoreboard. England 15-9 as they move it back towards halfway.
That's a better kick from Chris Latham, down towards the English halfway. They need to control the ball, Australia. They need the ball with over 15 minutes left in the game.
Australia have got to get down to the English half. They've got to get and start putting pressure. They're holding onto the ball, but they've got to get down to where they can score.
You're very wise for a prop, Dan. That's exactly what's on. It's clear from the sideline. You can't score, you can't win it from where they are.
I'm a bit worried you're amazed at that, Buddha.
Flattery never worried a prop forward. Look at this. Ben Cohen with the fullback to beat. Straight round Latham. Try number 3 for England. And are they out of sight and ready to claim that first ever victory against the Wallabies in Australia?
Ben Cohen scored twice against the Wallabies at Twickenham at the end of the year. He is a hungry young man. Beautiful angle. They brought him back on the inside. The desperate arm. Latham was absolutely flat-footed and nobody could catch him. He's hard to stop. He is on fire.
Lovely pass from Jonny Wilkinson. The short ball to Cohen coming through on a wonderful angle. And the Northampton winger off the left foot around Chris Latham. Important try for England.
Well, look at the England players. They would feel that may be the match-winning try. Wilkinson now to really ram home this advantage. It's now out to 13 points England's way. 22-9.
It happens in the blink of an eye. A good financial plan can help you make the most of every moment. AXA, be life confident.
So Lottie Takiri coming out for his 3rd test match. And Nathan Gray departs.
He's done well, Nathan Gray. Did all what was asked of him. Now Matt Rogers comes into the number 10 position.
Ben Darwin on as well. So it's catch-up for Australia now. England in a commanding position at 22-9 with 15 to go.
The strength and the go-forward of this English pack has just been outstanding. They know each other. They've played well together all year. They've got this real confidence that just keeps them moving forward.
Taken away by Roth as Lucy or Mike Tindall lost the ball there.
Hands away, White.
Here comes Kefu.
Offside, White.
Found the gap. Steve Kefu. Australia really needs to hit back here with a 5-pointer.
There's no advantage. Offside, White 2. Time out.
Also, Andre Watson's in here too. There was an incident behind the play. Brendan Cannon was felled.
Ben Cohen lay around the ball. George Gregan raked his leg. I reckon Gregan will be penalised.
Let's hear from Andre Watson.
You tell the captains. Replacement hooker goal and 7 White.
Okay.
I ran up to them and told them to stop it.
Okay.
When I looked back, number 7 had his hands near the eyes and he wouldn't let go.
Right.
Penalty here against Bowl.
Against White?
Against White 7.
Okay, and your recommendation?
Well, I couldn't see from where he was, but he's had his hand in his face. I'll have a very stern warning with him. And up.
So Neil back to get another warning. He was sin bin last week. This was a man who was told he was too small to play Test rugby 11 years ago.
Now, I'll tell you what I've been told, right? The 2 of you on the ground doing nothing. Touch judge asked you to let go. You continued it on. You're not listening now. His recommendation is a penalty here against you. I don't want to see either of the 2 of you again for the rest of the game getting involved in anything like that. Is that is that okay?
I think he's relieved that it wasn't a sin bin.
You see him walk in there, sir. I didn't do anything. You wouldn't expect him to walk in there. Yeah, I'm right for it, boss.
A severe warning was the recommendation from Andre Watson.
George Gregan getting frustrated, rightly so. The England side's always been laundering on George's ball. He wants to get some clean ball for the Wallabies backs.
That's Dickerman.
Good try, Brendan Cannon.
Now Kefu. 5 metres to go here for Australia. Can this blanket English defensive line hold them out here? Roth went without it. Phil Waugh. Ball travelled backwards, says David McHugh. Gregan again here. Steve Kefu. Latham on the inside. Taken away by England. This is Greenwood. And it's going to be everyone over the touchline.
Well, it's just not Chris Latham's night. Nothing is falling for him, try though he may. And it just turned all horribly wrong. Great work by Kefu, lovely ball. And again, it just spills at a critical moment.
Just have the sound engineer, please.
He is trying to make something happen, Buddha, isn't he? He's trying to get involved. He's trying to make something happen. He doesn't want to wait till the last 2 minutes.
Well, Australia have got nothing to lose now. 11 minutes to go, 13 minutes to go. Down 22-9. They've just got to throw caution to the wind here. They've got to use the new men on the park. They've got to bring in Lottie. They've got to bring in Matt Rogers. These people have got a bit of zip-zip. They've got young legs. They've got to use them. They can't leave it to people like Steve Kefu, who's been slogging it out all game.
Well, the referee has troubles with his earpiece just being attended to. Now that's the break. Both teams will be regrouping, trying to work out what they're going to do. Johnson, he's got to keep pressing.
Steve Kefu also has been following his older brother's example, trying to ignite things, but we need, I guess the Australians need to see Matt Rogers and Lottie Takiri.
Is that technician wearing your beanie there, Buddha?
Well, we saw referees with all sorts of tricks, and they're producing everything from under David McHugh's shirt or up his sleeve. But it's just a lighter moment in what is a very tense part of the game. 13 points the difference. I think it's too big for the Wallabies to close Ben Kay back on the field.
So Steve Borthwick back off. But this England side has struck lethally in the first half with 2 tries. The 65th minute with Ben Cohen after Jonny Wilkinson exploited a gap between the Australian 10 and 12. 56% of possession to the visitors.
The England side, they don't look like slowing down after 11 and a half months of full rugby. The last couple of minutes of this season, they seem to be going forward, Buddha.
Look, this is a consummate performance. It took them 30 years to beat the All Blacks in New Zealand. It was a bit like the 79 Bledisloe Cup win of the Wallabies 30 years after they last won it. Now they've gone on from it.
Now here's this brilliant bit of work by Wilkinson. He feinted the pass. They got the gap just outside Nathan Gray and inside Steve Kefu. And all power, an express train. The number 11 from Northampton.
And look at him there, rub salt into the wound, playing up to the crowd, saying it's my try, my England, we're going to take this away.
So Ben Cohen, all 100 kilograms of him. Clive Woodward looking very excited. He played out here in Australia for the Manly Club for a couple of seasons in the 80s. Brendan Cannon. But it's looking a forlorn task at the moment for the Aussies unless they can spark some magic. Rogers. Robinson underneath. Cohen joins him. And it was Rogers who came through for the tackle, 10 from halfway. This is Thompson, this big, powerful, mobile hooker, driven back by Giffen. Vickery was there to support his teammate, though. And now Wilkinson. Spiral torpedo. Australia needs a quick throw. Then Wendell decides against it.
He hasn't given Australia back 3 any chance to run the ball. Every kick Wilkinson's made, put the ball out.
Must be close to a man of the match performance by Steve Thompson. Someone in the forwards has got to win it. But good defence again by the Wallabies, but too much, too little, too late.
Well, those 3 front rowers have been outstanding. They've given their opposites an abject lesson in general play. And a knock on there by England. Looked to be a pretty deliberate one too.
Yeah, that's a knock on.
Even Martin Johnson's face there is showing that they're fairly lucky on that one. Australia bring it down, present it. You see Martin Johnson himself leaning over the top and slapping that ball down, which is actually against the rules. It should have been a penalty against him.
So just under 12 minutes to go, and England by 13. The Aussies needing 2 converted tries now to win this game. 3 tries to 0. It's been comprehensive. Australian scrum muscles up. Steve Kefu, Latham out wide. Couldn't find Takiri. Loose pass. Pass then too hard to Joe Roth. And it's all coming horribly unstuck for the Wallabies at the moment.
Suspicious early tackle on Rogers. No, it's perfectly timed.
And that the referee calling, saying that it wasn't a knock on, it actually ricocheted off Roth's head into touch.
And knocked him senseless at the same time. 24-year-old Thompson to Martin Johnson. He has been a colossus for the England team. And this is a measure of revenge for the disappointment of the Lions series 2 years ago, where they lost here in Melbourne as Australia turned the series round. It's 22-9 to England.
Good communication there by David McHugh, the referee, saying to England that one man on his own, so he had to go back into the maul.
Here comes Tindall, running straight into Joe Roth.
Hands away, 7 ball.
Matt Dawson.
Advantage goal.
Good clean out there from Ben Kay.
Still playing advantage.
Still playing advantage here.
No advantage. No advantage. You're turned, release straight away. He's turned, release straight away.
So he wants instant release here from Matt Dawson once you're tackled. He went to ground and then the referee said that he was rolled over and then he tried to roll back again instead of releasing.
That was a great tackle by Todai Kefu there. Not only has he put the man on the ground, but he's actually rolled his man back on the tackler back onto his side, so he then exposed him to one of his other players who could come in and try and rip the ball from him, and hence getting the penalty.
Australia can still win this game, but they need a try in the next few minutes.
The English are past masters at the moment. You can feel that they're getting to this stage where they're just wanting to grind the game down to as slow as humanly possible.
Ben Kay having a moment in the sin bin. Well taken by Giffen. So execution and precision needed here from Takiri. Brilliance. Wilkinson was there to cover though. Wendell Saylor did well to keep it in play. Now Roth in his first receiver. Rogers. And the Molong Mincer. David Lyons. Roth again. Kefu. And Rogers. Takiri's with him. Rogers. Just short. Robertson across. Breathtaking attack there by that man. Almost resulting in a try.
Sensational ball. He got into space and he just couldn't get back to his support. Qantas cam down low and he just gets pulled out agonisingly short.
Takiri loomed up, but Rogers couldn't see him. And England, with this magnificent scrambling defence, it's been a feature of their performance both here and in New Zealand over the last week, were able to stymie Australia at the depth.
Rogers, he sized up Robinson there, didn't he? He had a look at him and said, I can take this bloke on, I'll put the big fend on. But Robinson was up to the challenge and took him into touch.
David Lyons. Joe Roth. So Roth's playing as the number 10 now with Nathan Gray off the field. And that's Kefu.
Hands away, white 4.
7.5 to go. Brendan Cannon. Australia needs 2 converted tries to win this game. An unlikely victory, but still remotely possible.
It's too messy. It's too messy.
Instantly pounced on the ball. The English Lucy's just really scrapping well for it. There's an initiative to the Wallabies and just went agonisingly wide of George Gregan's arms.
Well, they've put him under a lot of pressure tonight, George Gregan. He hasn't had a lot of clean, quick ball.
When you're ready, crouch and hold goal. When you're ready,
I've rarely seen him apply, had this pressure cooker type
go behind at 19.
defence just directed straight at him, and it's been very successful.
That's 1 each now,
so
guys.
Mike Tindall
so we just try and get out of the way.
Getting the touch there. He'll have a good sing-song tonight. He has a karaoke machine installed in his own home. That's Giffen. And this is Roth. Rogers. and Latham. Todai Kefu looking to offload. 6.5 to go for Australia. Steve Kefu couldn't hold on, and that's probably the last chance. England have punished the error.
Latham needs to move this to his left. He's got Sala and Takiri with him.
Sala around Delalio. Takiri outside, and he ran away from him, trying to straighten up. But it's still on for Australia. They have a big overlap here. Rogers and War. Ben Cohen. He's not going to outspeed him.
Phil Ward done very well to stay inside.
Now Steve Kefu trying to smash through a half gap, and it's been turned over. Knock on by England.
I've got to break that defensive line. Got to punch the hole, and that's been difficult to do.
Second was a knock on.
Well, Australia looking so dangerous when they use the width of the field.
Great work by Ward to keep this ball in play. He was never going to get round Cohen, but he stopped, he stabilised and secured possession.
And engage.
What's happening with the Wallabies now? They're getting in behind this brick wall defence of England.
Oh, it's just slipped.
And that's what you have to do.
It's just slipped.
Get in behind them, build the phases.
Well, the only Super 12 football Phil War missed this season were his visits to the blood bin.
Coach and hold when you're ready, and engage.
What a warrior he's been tonight. Stupendous performance from the Australian number 7, who goes with the quick tap.
Advantage white.
And the Australians lose it ahead.
Advantage white.
Dawson goes up the touchline. I think he said the advantage is over, so Australia has another crack here. Roth, Sailor, Rogers and Takiri with him. Lottie Takiri. England covered up again very well. 10-metre line. Takiri drives ahead. The ball was out. Back for the Wallabies. Through the legs, Fijian style. Lions. Thompson across. Now Gregan. Pass knocked down by England.
Coming the side, 11.
Coming on the side of the tackle.
I think both teams are pleased that ball's gone over the sideline.
Touch judge report far side. 22-9 to England. They had this wrapped up now. Historic moment for them.
This will be an interesting report.
No, not you.
15 white. 15 white. Holding back the yellow player, no punch thrown from either man, but just deliberately holding them back.
It's just a bit of nothing over there. We'll have the penalty over here. Just leave the guy go. All right, guys? Penalty is over here. Australian penalty.
So less than 4 minutes to go. Josh Lucy, who was here on that tour of hell, the number 15, back in 1998.
Well, there it is, Rogers and what's enough pushing and shoving, having a bit of a flick. Lucy wasn't at fault. Rogers reacted. He could well have cost a penalty. Turn around, gives him a clip over the ear for holding on. Well, good on you.
Well, Lucy and Rogers showing very good discipline there.
Haven't seen this for a long time. It's two-man line out. Australia's got plenty of room to the left-hand side and use Wendell Sailor up the middle.
Straight up the middle. Wendell to the corner. Sensational. What a strike back, but hasn't come too late. Australia has to kick conversion from touch. Scoreboard clock says we have 3 to go.
What an angle. Wendell Sailor straightens the ball up, off his left, off his right, and off his left again, and pins those ears back for the corner. He wanted the 5 points, and he's got it.
Well, Wendell Sailor's made a fool of me. The first time he catches the ball and puts it in the right arm, he scores. Beautifully placed. He uses everything inside the big left step. Go, you good thing, Wendell.
Great one run by Wendell Sailor. I'd like to have a look a little bit closer at the end. He didn't look like he got to get the ball down just there before his feet went over the dead ball line.
So valiant effort there by Ben Cohen on the Qantas rail cam. But Roth has to get this one. And so England is safe. 8 points is too much for the Wallabies with 2 minutes showing on the clock. So Wendell Sailor, he scored his first test try at Twickenham against England. And now his most recent, also against England at Telstra Dome, but it's come too late.
Well, I think that's the best of all his tries. It's absolute skill and just individual effort.
So David Giffen underneath. But the England players have it safely parcelled up as Australia. Sewell's forward, giving England some of their own medicine. This one has gone 30 metres.
It's about time the Wallabies decided to go straight up the guts. That's great work. Oh, sensational tackle.
Rogers cut in two there. He might struggle to get up from that tackle.
Oh.
And it was Josh Lucy. They were sparring partners 5 minutes ago.
Oh, that's Rogers the way to square off.
Rogers in a lot of trouble here.
I think he's winded. They're just trying to get some time. Look at him writhing around on the ground. How much pain can you be in? Oh.
Okay, Tim Horan and Chris Handy.
As he gets the ball, he gets smashed. That is classic crunching defence.
What about this? Underneath the rib cage. Have some of that. He's pretty tough character, Matt Rogers. He'll get back up.
Well, the happiest man on the field after that is the Great Britain defence coach, Phil Larder, because it's all about timing in the tackle and using the shoulder and driving forward hard and low, and that was straight out of the textbook.
Well, Phil Larder, the ex-rugby league player, he's really showing this England side. They've really shored up their defensive pattern. They've got a new defensive pattern. They rush at the number 10, and it's worked well tonight. And there we see Clive Woodward. Will he smile? He'll be very pleased with it. They'll be best in the world after this game, but they'll be not world champions yet.
They have consolidated their favouritism for the World Cup. Well done, Clive. And this man has just been plagued by injuries, all but cut in two there by Josh Lucy. A minute to go on the clock. England 22-14. And Matt Rogers bravely continues.
I bet his Adam's apple nearly popped out his mouth. Such was the force. Just ripped the Vodafone off the front of the juice.
Delalio now. Torai Kefu on Worsley. Hasn't Ben Cohen had an all-action game as well? Just getting so involved. An example to every young winger in the game. He's all over the field.
There's not one player in a white jersey out there that hasn't had a man-of-the-match performance. Truly, it's been a very good effort, starting with the front row. Their back row have been superb with the engine room of Hay and also Martin Johnson. And every back has had a crack. Wilkinson's just had to sit back in the back seat directing traffic.
And there's Jason Leonard, who looks as though he won't come on for his 104th Test match for England. But there's the smile you wanted. A second to go, Clive. He was holding on to the very last moment. And now Jonny Wilkinson can just confirm the fait accompli. Wilkinson has booted the hoodoo into the rugby galaxy. England historically gets their first ever win against the Wallabies on Australian soil. An emphatic victory. 3 tries to 1, 25 plays 14.
What a fantastic win from Captain Martin Johnson. It's been a long season for them, but they've come through. They wanted these 2 Test matches. The first one against the All Blacks, the second against the Wallabies, and they'll go back to England in a few days' time, sit in the sun and enjoy the moment.
And doesn't that make up for some of the disappointment of the Lions tour just a couple of years ago? But the Wallabies can have no excuses. They certainly had their opportunities, but it was England who were the more deadly finisher. They took their opportunities, and no one can argue with this victory here tonight. So Jason Leonard didn't come out. And let's hear now from the beaten skipper with Dan Crowley.
Well, here I am with George Greig. And George, across the park tonight, the English were a better team, weren't they?
Yeah, they outplayed us. Set piece wise, they took their opportunities, and when they got into our half, they scored a couple of good tries in the first half, and they were very good in the second half.
Now, Nathan Gray, there was a lot spoken about him. There was a lot of pressure put on him, but he did a manful job.
Yeah, he did a great job, Gracie. You know, we're very happy with his effort. Communicated really well. Just a lesson for us in terms of taking opportunities. We actually had a few chances, and this level we've got to be able to take every single one of them.
It's a good opportunity for Australia to see where they are. We know Australia have got a lot more left in the tank. Good luck to you and the boys for the Tri-Nation Series coming up.
Thanks a lot, and thanks for the support here tonight.
Well, Martin Johnson, not only history for the English side here in Australia, but a Bundaberg Rum Man of the Match performance from yourself. You have to be happy with that.
Yeah, you know, it's been a very long season. But we didn't talk about that all week. We just talked about, you know, one big game and playing Australia over here. You know, we've never won as England, so it was always going to be a big ask. It's early in the season for them, late in the season for us, but you know, I thought our effort, particularly first half, was pretty good.
3 tries. You know, the New Zealanders called you boring. That certainly wasn't boring.
No, you know, it's we were hoping for rain today, but it was dry, so we had to play a bit of rugby. But there you go.
Congratulations. Enjoy the moment with your team, and good luck. We'll see you back here at World Cup time. Bundaberg Rum Man of the Match.
Thank you very much.
He's done a lot, hasn't he, Martin Johnson? We talked about him before the match and his leadership. All smiles for England, deserving winners over the Wallabies here at Telstra Dome. We'll be back with more in a moment, but in the end it was England 25, Australia 14.